Hello, my name is Tegan Mingo. Today we'll be talking to Dawn Stouffer, a research associate for the SFA Gardens and Mass Arboretum. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Tegan. Thank you.
All right. I'm glad that you're doing well. Would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a native of Houston, but I came to SFA as a grad student in 1997. I worked for the Mass Arboretum at the time. I loved my job. I loved Nacogdoches, and I loved the SFA campus so much that I've been here for more than 20 years now.
All right. That's a long time, but that's great. So you are a research associate for the SFA Gardens. Could you tell us what your responsibilities as a research associate is?
Well, my responsibilities vary day to day. I'm responsible for growing the crop for the 2 annual plant sales. I give tours, I teach some of the students, I get to help beautify the gardens by designing the planting materials and getting them in the ground. We do lots of guided tours with college kids as well as community folk like master gardeners.
All right, okay. So the annual plant sale recently took place. Can you talk about how many different types of plants were out at the sale?
My goal in the spring is to have more than 300 different varieties of plants at the plant sale, and so we had, I think, just maybe 302 this year. The fall sales are a little bit smaller because we don't have a lot of the warm season annuals that we usually do in the spring, but we had a wide variety this year. I think probably the most diverse we've ever had.
All right. Well, we have a package prepared about the annual plant sale that recently took place, and after that we will talk more about the Mass Arboretum and the gardens with Ms. Stouffer when we come back.
Both my daughters and I come, and it's something we do together. We have so much fun. I mean, it's like competitive plant buying, and we're very competitive. It just gets our juices flowing, and there's things here that you can't find anywhere else, and that's real attractive. Like I got a Thomas Jefferson's favorite big bush, and my husband's going to really be excited about that.
Definitely the variety of different hard-to-get items that you wouldn't get at Lowe's or any of those commercial stores.
I like the way they're described as Texas tough. So, the way that I grow them, they better be tough. But thank you.
Welcome back. If you're just now tuning in, my name is Tegan Mingo, and I'm here with guest research associate for the SFA Gardens, Dawn Stouffer. You are a founding member of the Garden Capital of Texas Committee. How did you become involved with this?
Well, we were designated as the Garden Capital of Texas by a bill that Representative Travis Clardy put forward to the state, and so we are actually, that's our designation in Nacogdoches. So because of the wide variety of gardens that we have in the town and all of the beautiful azaleas that bloom in the spring, we are gardeners here in Nacogdoches, and so there was a group that was instrumental in putting this committee together, and our goals are to help continue to beautify the community. We do an annual planting every year on Texas Arbor Day, which is the first Friday in November, and we have planted to date more than 1,000 trees throughout the community.
All right. Well, can you talk to us about the gardens and tell us how many types of plants and flowers are in the gardens a little bit more?
I'd love to talk to you about the gardens. The gardens began in 1985 as a little class project of the first landscape plant materials class that Dr. David Creech taught here at SFA. They have grown to encompass more than 128 acres here on campus. The gardens include the Mass Arboretum, the Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden, the Piney Woods Native Plant Center, the Gala Mize Garden, and we have some satellite gardens like the Kingham Children's Garden and the Jimmy Hines Park. And so we grow a wide variety of different things, more than 10,000 different different types of plant material. So anything from A to Z, from annuals, perennials, shrubs, trees, you name it, we have it. I kind of like to joke that my job is to kill plants, and so what we do is basically look at plant material that we think has potential here in the southeastern United States, and we put it in our collection. We don't give it any special care other than irrigation and siting it correctly, and if the plants thrive and they look good, then we're able to kind of recommend those to the community, to the nursery industry, and beyond.
All right. So you did mention the different types of gardens, but what do they have to offer? Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Well, the first and foremost thing that they have to offer for SFA students is we serve as a living laboratory. So all of our horticulture majors get a hands-on experience, and so they learn the plants firsthand. They don't have to learn them through a textbook. We also serve other majors as well as forestry, biology, environmental science. This last week, we wrapped up Bugs, Bees, Butterflies, and Blossoms, which is a week-long event that our math and science education interns put together. And we see roughly 2,000 little kindergartners and first graders and second graders in that week. And so the education majors are responsible for that particular activity.
I'm going to say, I know that's fun with the little ones running around the gardens, for sure.
Sure.
Can you talk to us about any events that take place at the gardens more than just the one that occurred last week?
Absolutely. We actually have a monthly lecture series, and this is every second Thursday at 7 p.m. And we bring in speakers from all over the United States, and the lecture is free to the public, and folks have a chance to win a raffle prize, a plant, at the end of the lecture. We also have Saturday seminars that are about 3-hour-long workshops that have hands-on activities with them. The next workshop that we have, I think, is rather exciting. It's learning about photographing nature, and so we have an avid photographer who's coming to teach us all the tips and tricks on taking great photographs and editing them as well.
All right. So are there any upcoming events that will be taking place in the garden soon?
Well, May 9th, I believe, is our next lecture series. We're going to have on May 10th a planting day. We're going to have a kind of a volunteer opportunity for the folks in the community, the SFA community and beyond, to come plant the children's garden, all of our pollinator and butterfly-friendly plants there. And then on the Saturday, May 11th, is going to be the photography workshop.
All right. Will these upcoming events be open to the public or just the SFA students at SFA?
All of the events are open to anyone. The Saturday seminars are paid ventures, so you have to, if you can get a discount if you're a member of the gardens, but other than that, everything's open to the public. The gardens are open to the public from dawn until dusk. There's no entrance fee, so there's no excuse for you not to come visit.
All right, well, I guess I need to check that out soon. So we're going to look at the SFA Mass Arboretum and the plants, the flowers, and sculptures that are in the gardens. Wow, the SFA Mass Arboretums have some really beautiful sites. What is your favorite plant that is in the Arboretum?
I can't answer that. It changes day by day. I think my favorite plant is the sanguine coneflower, which is a native little perennial here in East Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Being an SFA alumni, what does it mean to you to work here at the SFA Gardens?
It means a lot to me. I really I like interacting with the students. Now I'm in the position where I'm old enough to be their parents, but I still get to interact with students on a day-to-day basis, and I think that's the most rewarding thing.
All right, so you are a board member of Keep NAC Beautiful. How does your work with the SFA Gardens tie into your position as a board member for this organization?
I use my experience with the gardens to help the beautification arm of Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. And so the tree planting activity that we do with the Garden Capital of Texas is the big outreach that we have as far as beautification. This last weekend I participated in Earth Day. K&B had a number of different booths and things there, and we actually planted little recycled food containers with the kids at the Earth Day event.
Oh, okay. I need to come for sure next time. Okay, so you run a social profile known as the Southern Garden Girl.
Wow, okay.
Did working in the SFA Gardens give you the inspiration to create this social profile?
So the Southern Garden Girl came about, it evolved when I was at a trade show in Columbus, Ohio, and I had asked one of the vendors for a particular plant, and he said, well, we only grow perennials. And perennials are plants that come back year after year. They die to the ground, but they do come back. And I, being a Southern Garden Girl, this particular plant was perennial for us here in Southeast Texas. And so I just thought, well, these people are all, my whole industry is geared towards gardeners up in the north, up in Pennsylvania and Minnesota and things like that. Well, we need to make, we need to make a splash. We need to make a noise about being Southern gardeners. And so that's how she evolved, Southern Garden Girl.
All right, that's really cool. I gotta definitely check that one out. So you write a publication called the SFA Garden News. What types of topics do you write about in this publication?
The SFA Garden News is our gardens newsletters for our membership. And we, all of our staff kind of give input for this particular publication. My input generally focuses on plants that are native, that attract pollinators, because I love butterflies and I love native bees and I love all those kind of really cool things that come with this type of plant material. So that's usually what I focus on. It's published quarterly, so we put 4 every year out, and 2 of them come right before our spring and our fall plant sales. So those 2 particular articles, those editions, I write about things that I think people need to buy at the plant sale.
All right, okay. All right, so thank you for coming to talk with me today. But before we go, do you have any advice or anything that someone needs to start their own garden at home?
Well, just do some research, talk to the professionals. You have professionals here on campus, and you have a whole college of horticulture majors, so there's plenty of resources at your fingertips.
Okay, yeah, definitely need to check that out once I get my own home for sure. All right, but thank you again for coming in. It was a pleasure, and thank you all for tuning in with us today at SFA Now. I'm Tegan Mingo.